So thank you very much. So in some ways, what we're doing is really very easy. Everyone in this room has had their life touched by X-ray, be it medical or be it dental at some point. But it's fundamentally got a problem, and it's a 2D image of a 3D U. What we're doing is delivering 3D at the point of care. So we've got a huge patent portfolio, 28 patent families. We're FDA cleared. We've got a considerable cost advantage, make, serve, and install. It's a massive multi-industry, multi-platform product, and we're looking to raise 30 to 40 million to scale up commercialization. So what's the current problem? 2D images are really quite bad. Patient transit is required. There are necessary referrals because that 2D image, that first 2D image quite often isn't that great, and there's very high infrastructure and maintenance costs. And particularly if you're talking about CT or MRI, it just gets more expensive and more costly, and with more patient transport required as you go through. So intra-hospital transit is a significant issue. Our objective is to reduce the need to take the patient to the hospital in the first place, but also reduce the need to transfer ill patients through a place where many more ill patients have already been. And in doing so, reduce the problem of hospital crowding. So what's needed is a solution that's low dose, affordable, small, and 3D. And that is the Adaptix solution. It reduces the dose to patients and clinicians. It avoids space issues. It's truly portable. It doesn't need three-phase power. It's got a lower cost of ownership, and it will improve first-line diagnostics and give enhanced diagnostic clarity. So this is what the system looks like, just to show what it looks like. When the lights start to flash, that's when each of the 45 emitters is being fired in turn to create that 3D image. And that 3D image is finished now. So it's a 5-second acquisition. And then about 20 seconds afterwards, the 3D image will be available to be presented to the clinician for review. So it really is that quick. Imagine having this in the treatment room, in the emergency department, or even in your primary care provider. So it's a novel technology. It's cold cathode, but it's also silicon-based. And what we do is, because we're rastering across a number of fixed emitters, it doesn't need any moving parts. There's no mechanical movement. And most importantly, because it's small, it's simple, it's lightweight, it completely transforms the service model that is one of the main drivers of cost in this industry. So what's the basic proposition? It's quite simple. Multiple 2D images will be replaced by 1 or 2 3D images. And if you've ever been to a dentist or had your wrist imaged after you've fallen over snowboarding or something, you'll know that quite often they'll image it 3, 4, or 5 times as they chase that possible fracture. Well, we see a future where instead of having a single 2D, many 2Ds, you have a single or 2 3Ds, giving you much better visualization of the joint surfaces. And one of the feedback points from the clinician review is a better ability to diagnose, for instance, arthritis and similar in the joints. So what the clinician sees is this. So they basically scroll through like they would a CT. And as you go through, you can see incredible detail of the trabecular structure, the bony structure inside the pores inside the bone, and also really, really good details of the joint spaces as you go through. Once you've got that, you can turn it into 3D models. And so here, what we're watching is the elbow rotating, and really exciting if you're looking at some of the most common injuries inside that present in the emergency department. And here, obviously, what we're looking at now is on a holographic display, and we're going through and looking at the joint space. So obviously, one of the advantages of 3D, it's much easier to apply machine learning to. So as we go through this lamb bone, you can see the non-displaced fracture present right now, and that would have been basically impossible to see on the 2D X-ray. But with Adaptix 3D, it's readily highlighted, and we can then apply machine learning to find that fracture. So what have we got that's an advantage? Well, we've got an incredible portfolio, 29 patent families drafted, 28 filed, 315 pending applications, and over 160 patents granted, with over 100 further disclosures to start to farm. Obviously, not every one of those will turn into a patent. But hopefully you can see just how robust our patent portfolio is. So why does this matter? Well, ultimately, it's better for you as a patient. It's a faster time to diagnose, faster time to treat and discharge, a lower risk of diagnostic misses, and lower needs for travel. But it's also better for the physician in terms of that reduced time to diagnose and treat, and it gives them new capabilities to enhance their practice profitability. But also from the perspective of the payer, it's going to significantly reduce the cost to diagnose and treat the patient. So where are we at the moment? Well, we've just got our 510K for the orthopedic. Next will be the general radiology and also dental. We're in market in non-destructive evaluation and veterinary that we've used to basically prove the technology. So this is where we're going next. Those 4 of those panels that you saw on the video will be bundled together. We'll have to increase the power, and that will allow us to bring 3D chest imaging to the ICU or the emergency department, potentially even into primary care. And so we think this will be a transformational impact in terms of reducing the need to transit patients and give that enhanced 3D clarity throughout the hospital. Clearly, with all the big players in 2D X-ray, something that displaces 2D X-ray and replaces it with 3D is potentially very large markets. Starting off with about 5 billion for where we are today, 2.8 billion for dental intraoral, and then chest imaging is a much, much larger market. So we've de-risked the operations in terms of we've got the core technology. It's been mobilized in Silicon Glen in Scotland. We're outsourcing the integration of the actual system itself. We've had collaborations, or have collaborations in place with the University of Oxford, Manchester, Edinburgh, Liverpool, Surrey, and several other leading institutions. As I said, we have 510K clearance. CE mark will be scheduled for about Q3, and UL mark so we can sell the component sometime in Q4. Key thing here is that for the early products, we have recurring revenue models. We've got first customers in vet and NDE, and in discussions with US national distributors. And what we're aiming to do is basically deliver imaging as a service with a payback to us after about 6 months. So upcoming milestones for us. Close the financing, enter into a US distribution agreement, validate our Scottish production line, start hiring the US commercial team. We've started to make progress on all of these. And then after that, demonstrate computer-aided diagnostics, launch the dental product, get the business listing ready, and after that, scale the sales force and launch the chest product. So in terms of where we are today, we've raised about $20 million. Investors include a UK-listed company. We're targeting now a $40 million round to take the business through to 2025 through those key milestones that I outlined. So the use of proceeds will be a UK and EU commercial rollout, US operations build-out and commercial launch, manufacturing scale-up, and a product pipeline development. So in terms of the management team, myself, the CTO, and the VP product management all worked together at Siemens some time ago. Chief Medical Officer previously advised GE. VP Finance was previously a finance director for a UK-listed company. One of our NEDs is the former Chief Medical Officer of GE, and our new chairman previously raised $245 million in the last round. So we're a 72-person company, very tech-heavy with 16 PhDs and MDs, and a very good male-female ratio for a company of our stage. So to highlight, we're regulatory cleared, we're ready to scale, we've got a good IP base and product pipeline, we'll grow an already massive market, we're not just going to displace 2D, and now is a great time to invest. And the reason I hope you'll consider doing that is because one day we'll touch the life of everyone you know by replacing 2D X-ray with 3D and delivering better quality diagnostics at the point of care. Thank you.